Yeah, it was an odd choice. Like I thought for Hamzat coming back to the States, probably would have had in Vegas, but who knows? Yeah, the card is so mid. Like Benil Dariush versus Moicano, for example, why is that fight happening? What does that do for the lightweight division? Who benefits off that? Like, is Benil Dariush or Money Moicano going to get a title eliminator after this fight? No, they're probably going to be fed to an up and coming prospect anyway. So why not have Benil Dariush take on Mauricio Huffy on this card and have Moicano still on the card but taking on Fressian? Like, why not do that? Where's Cyril Gan Pavlovich? Where's Shavkat Rakhmonov, Sean Brady? Islam's title defenses, I think, are good. It's not a good card. Like you've got Deniz versus Justin Tafa on the main card of International Fight Week. Stop pretending that we're liking this card. It's ass. It's terrible. Let's go, Paul Craig. Now, like I'm understanding we're not going to get UFC 300 level cards every year. I'm not even saying that it needs to be stacked prelims or anything, but when you look at last year's International Fight Week card, which was Alex Pereira, Yuri Prohaska 2, obviously that was meant to be the McGregor return. But even when you look at like the prelims on that, you had Peyton Talbot on the card, Vinicius Oliveira, Gene Silva. Who else did you have? You had some other prospect on the card. You know, you had like good prospects on the undercard. There is nothing on this card at all. The co-main de Poirier, Max Holloway should be Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker. Nah. And that's the thing as well. Like, why is it not Ilya versus Islam? I mean, the card takes place in like 40 something days. Islam had already agreed to fight in Taporia if Bilal had beaten JDM, so he was already on board with fighting him. So why not have him fight him anyway? Because JDM's not going to be fighting until like October anyway. So that gives him time. Why was that fight not made? Some prospects I like to see on the card. Mauricio Huffy, Vresiam. Who else have we got? Peyton Talbot. I like to see him return there. We haven't really got much news of him. I don't recall. Gene Silva should be on the card. Who else? Could be a good one. Trying to think. There's just so many other people. Taporia is going to knock him out. Um, the co-main event, the Hamzat DDP is going to be ass also, like proper shit. The 317, like UFC 314 is better than this. Kai Car France is from New Zealand, I believe. It's not like you've got Paulo Costa hasn't had a win since what? When was Paulo Costa's last win? When they discovered fire against Luke Rockhold, that was when his last win was. Since then, he's on a losing streak. He's not active. Roman Kopylov is in there at rank number 4. Like you've got the feature fight of International Fight Week with two guys that aren't even in the top 10 rankings of the middleweight division. What main event are you looking forward to the most? Um, Probably Hamzat DDP to be honest. Although, like What happens to Taporia if he loses? Like, if he loses to Charles, what happens? But I'm not even asking for like this card to be Ilya Oliveira, Pantoji Kaikar, France, DDP, Hamzat. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying have like decent. Like, where's Arnold Allen, Aljamain Sterling? Why is that not on this card? For example, Peter Yan versus like a Rob Font. Why is that not on this card? For example, Shavkat Sean Brady. Why is that not on this card? Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland too, that we know they're going to do now. Why is that not on this card? Surreal Gan, Sergey Pavlovich. Why is that not on this card? It's just lazy. The UFC's roster is that big that they can stack every card. That's crazy. But you're probably right about Bilal. I'd rather see Jan versus Umar, but I know Umar has a hand injury still, so he's not going to be back for ages. Nah, Shower's not on the prelims. Him versus Marc Andre Barrialt has been confirmed for a Abu Dhabi card. Do I think Oliveira is a difficult opponent for Elliott? Yeah, I mean Oliveira is good, but they might do Paddy versus Ilya if Ilya beats Oliveira. Thanks for the follow. Does Charles win the ground game? I mean, we're gonna find out. Moicano will beat Benil Dariush. Benil Dariush at one point in time was so underrated, it's crazy. I've got Holloway beating Dustin. Max Holloway needs to win for the sake of the lightweight division, but I don't want to see Poirier lose his retirement fight. Difficult one, I can't lie. Yeah, the card's just not it. And the fact that you had to wait that long as well for this shite to be announced. I hope Chandler gets DQ'd in his retirement fight. I think Yuri couldn't or can't fight soon because of exams or something. Benil Dariush. Who do you think Islam? I think there's a chance if Islam wins the welterweight title, he might retire. Armin Paddy headlining Liverpool for a UK fight night. That's what should be made next. And then do Gaethje Hooker on the co-main event to Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier. Yeah, that. I think he will. Like, I don't know how many. He has to rematch Paul Hughes though. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Hamzat Shemaev versus DDP predictions. Fuck. I don't know. Like, I was so confident that Hamzat was going to beat him, but no, I'm just not confident in that at all, to be honest. If anyone can beat Hamzat, it's the guy who fights underwater in DDP. Max is probably in talks for a title shot if he beats Dustin. I mean, he would have knocked out Gaethje, and then regardless of how he beats Dustin Poirier, he's beaten two top eight lightweights. Nah, Ilya versus Islam was the matchup to make. How many more matchups do I think Volk has in him? I'm starting to think Evloev beats Volkanovski, so them one. Weakest division? you're probably looking at lightweight, to be honest. Lightweight was one of the better divisions, but there's just no new prospects really coming in, getting an opportunity. It's the same repetitive fights as well. I think Volk, Evloev will co-main JDM Islam. Ilya beats Arman. Max beats Dustin. MVP Adesanya, that would be interesting. Do you think Ilya versus Islam happened? I don't think we'll ever see Islam versus Ilya now. I actually think Adesanya has a really good chance in the rematch, to be honest. Bo Nickel. Jack Hermanson fighting again, yeah. Yeah, Yair Rodriguez, Diego Lopez needs to happen. Although Yair Rodriguez is fed misinformation, fake news by Hunter Campbell. Like, a part of me is like Dana White needs to go. But then if Hunter Campbell's telling people like Yair Rodriguez, you're going to fight for the belt next after being on a losing streak and then beating Patricio Pitbull, who's not even ranked, then I don't know if we need him in that role. You know what I mean? It depends on price tickets made for the Chicago card, in my opinion. You've got a good main event, but look at the rest of the card. You need to see the rest of the card, in my opinion. Aljo wanted to get on the UFC 316 card, to be on the same card as Marab. Didn't happen. Yair versus Volk 2 predictions. Volk beats him. I think we've been conned to by the welterweight division for so many years. Predictions for all the pay-per-views. Right, let's go through them. I'm going to say Sean O'Malley beats Marab this time around. I predicted that last time and I was wrong. And I'm going to go for the same prediction, O'Malley to stop him in the first round. Next up, 317, Taporia knocks out Charles Oliveira inside 2. 318, Max Holloway beats Dustin Poirier by decision. 319, what's 319? Hamzat DDP. Right, let's start manifesting a DDP win. I'm going to say Dricus du Plessis beats Hamzat. Yeah, Izzy versus MVP is a fun fight. Although MVP said after he beat Shara he wouldn't be fighting at middleweight again. I've got Michael Morales beating Gilbert Burns, and it's a shame because I think this might be Gilbert Burns' last fight, and he's going to retire in the fucking Apex. Who should Arman fight? Paddy Pimblett. DDP would beat JDM. The December pay-per-view. Let me see. Maybe Ilya? Maybe Ilya Toptaro. The most competitive division, welterweight. This card's ass. Like, people need to stop trying to convince themselves this is a good card. Good main and co-main. Rest of the card is just shite. I think Ian Gary versus Leon Edwards is a difficult one. I'd probably go Leon. Pereira beats Ankalaev. I know. I don't know why Taff is on the main card. Thank you for the follow. Leon is washed. Sean Brady is a future welterweight champion. That's facts. Do Shavkat Sean Brady? Like, why? Ian Gary should be fighting the winner of Usman Buckley. Shavkat should be fighting Sean Brady. And you know what though? It's not like it's the fact that they build up International Fight Week every year is like one of their biggest cards, and then they produce this fucking slop on screen. Why is Shavkat injured now? Fucking cut the guy. Five leg parlay for what? This card? Yeah, John Jones is acting dead fruity out there in Thailand though. I'd hate to see what happened to that guy who was like rubbing his hair when he was on the back of the bike. Probably it seems like the UFC aren't looking to do double champ stuff anymore, which makes sense because it's not practical. No, I mean, I can't convince you that Oliveira beats Taporia. I think Taporia is going to stop him inside too. Taporia, Pantoja. I'm confident that Taporia and Pantoja will win, but Manel Cap, if Manel Cap's allowed the eye poke, he probably wins. Yeah, Gene Silva versus Josh Emmett. Gene Silva versus Aljamain Sterling. Who do you think the worst champ of all time is? Probably one of the worst champs of all time is John Jones at heavyweight. That's facts. You know, Aljo is the worst champ. I'm not going to tolerate that disrespect. Aljo was underappreciated as champ. Jamal Hill, probably. Jamal Hill, probably. Uh, Jamal Hill's seriously underrated, but thoughts on this week's card? Put it this way, I will not be staying up for it. You remember how shit UFC 200 was? I actually still get sleep paralysis thinking about that card. They always stack the Abu Dhabi cards, in fairness. Darius versus Moicano, thoughts on it? Why is it happening? Doesn't move the division forward at all. Moicano beats him. Yeah, Shara Bill will knock out Marc Andre Barrialt. He's got a pretty suspect chin, like. Justin Tafa is supposedly on the main card of UFC 311. I will not tolerate people telling me that's a good main card. Wake up. Yeah, Yuri Ulberg would have been good for this card, but Yuri's sitting exams or something, so that's why he's not. McGregor will fight again, I think so. Do I think so? It's he always puts up them training footages of him, and you're like, yeah, he's gonna start, he's gonna come back. Because the fight's there, him versus Chandler, but nah, Gaethje, Dan Hooker on the co-main of Max, Dustin. At this point, I would like to see Arsenal fight like an Almeida or something. In the meantime, while he waits for John Jones. It's close, like, but Beneil's been out of the cage for quite a while now. He's coming off 2 KOs. I think his best days are behind him. Yeah, imagine the surprises. Who's the best champ of all time? Um, nah. Ilya Oliveira is a good fight. It's not good enough to carry this card. There's no way they do Izzy Strickland on the Australia card. The Australia card will have JDM Islam. If we're lucky, Volk moves Evloev, and then one of the Tafa brothers in the feature fight because nobody wants to fight in Australia because taxes are crazy. Fury. Charles won't submit Ilya. Like, does Ilya just retire on the spot if he loses to Oliveira? Ilya can't lose. Literally cannot lose. The card's shit. Anderson Silva's definitely not top 5. Demetrius Johnson, I understand what people say about the resume thing with him. But a McGregor fight makes up for a shit card. People might hate me for saying that, but like McGregor's the biggest star in combat sports, so and like his last card, whenever he fought against Dustin Poirier, you had the likes of Ilia Topuria on the card at the time, good up and coming prospect. DDP was on the card as well, good up and coming prospects. This has nothing. The promotion to UFC 315 was awful. And my tombstone, my fucking setup, thinking about that. Islam subs JDM inside 3 rounds. Volk is better than GSP. Don't know. GSP was a born fighter, though. People don't talk about that. GSP was not an entertaining fighter. What do you think about Leon Edwards, Sean Brady? Next question. People forget, man. Ahmad, no, I'm not accepting your request. Don't be greedy. This card's good. See, that's why the UFC pump out shit like this, because people try and say, don't be greedy. The roster's stacked. What do you mean, don't be greedy? Let's have good cards again. No. To be fair for Fedor Emelianenko, I wasn't really watching the sport when he was like in his prime. I was probably about like 3 years of age when he was in his prime. Might even be younger. But like my memories of watching Fedor would have been like in his later stages of Bellator, which wasn't great. Ilya versus Islam should have been happening anyway on this card. UFC 316. Well, I don't know about that. Like, we've got a 5-round women's co-main event on it, so I don't know if we're going to talk about that. Thank you for the follow. Leon Edwards, Sean Brady was ass. Good performance from Sean Brady, in fairness, but Leon Edwards' performance was dog shit. Man, that guy was never my friend. Should you marry a man backwards cunt? Yeah. Leon threw that fight. Can't lie. Yeah, that's how you do that card. Moicano's fighting Beneil Dariush. Who do you think would be the most entertaining fight right now? Ilya Islam? But no, Leon on his ring walk looked hyped up for the fight, and then when Leon actually got into the cage and the bell rang, the guy might as well just opened the door and fucking walked out again. Max beats Poirier this time, hopefully. I'm better than a black belt, I'm a white belt. Who's the best lightweight of all time? Easy, Islam. Brother. If Sean O'Malley wins, I think we see Sean O'Malley, Petr Yan. Although a part of me feels like they might just give Umar an immediate title fight. What do you think? Islam ran from Ilya or just want to? Like, it's a difficult one because Islam does deserve to move up. Biggest hot take right now. Habib might not be top 10 all time. DDP Sean Strickland too. DDP smoked him. Yeah, Marab's a bit of a gamer for that stuff. I didn't know Sean O'Malley was still up to that stuff. Right, these are 10 fighters that I can think of off the top of my head that would be above Habib in no particular order, by the way. You've got John Jones, GSP, Demetrius Johnson, Volkanovski, Islam Makhachev, Anderson Silva would be above him, in my opinion. Let me see who else. Stipe, DC, Marab would be above him. Alex Pereira is above Habib all time, in my opinion. And that's not actually me properly sitting down and thinking about what way I would structure that. But where do you think Usman ranks all time? How is Stipe not above Habib? And how's Marab not either? Tell me what Habib has done that's better. And don't say he's undefeated because he fought cans for like majority of his career. His resume, though, it's not better than Marab's. Marab's beaten Henry Cejudo, Aldo, Sean O'Malley, Petr Yan, and Umar Nurmagomedov is a great win as well. This card is insane. No, it's not. You're saying Bilal is better than Habib? No, not once. Yeah, I don't know why Justin Taff is on the main card. No, you're okay. UFC 316 is better. Be careful with saying that because we do have a women's title fight on the card. So, what do you think if Jones wins now? That is his last fight, yeah. I know, but how does that? Why does that matter? He's the longest title reign. John Jones has the longest title reign in heavyweight history. Would you say he's the best heavyweight of all time? Yeah, Joe Piper, Kevin Gastelum will be a fun one. Do you think Jones is the undisputed GOAT if he beats Aspinall? He already is the GOAT, like, in fairness. I can't lie. Dustin, top 20 all time. He's a top 5 lightweight of all time. That's for sure. How's UFC 317 bad? Justin Taff is on the main card. Next question. Nah, Pantoja beats him. If you don't count PEDs, then you probably have CM Punk as your GOAT because every single UFC fighter has probably at some point taken something that has now been banned or at one point was a banned substance. No, no, there's plenty of shit fights on this card, mate. Plenty of shit fights. I know. I don't understand that either. Shout out CM Punk. What did I think of the UFC 312 card? Shit. Yeah, Kevin Holland will beat Vicente Luque. Kevin Holland's actually good at welterweight. I don't know why he keeps moving. No, I didn't see Joe Piper sparring Tate. Co-main and main's good. No, I like the main event. Should have been Islam, but And even after JDM winning, like the events in 40 days, Islam had already agreed before the 315 main event took place. Have I ever trained before? Yeah. Um, Before the main event of 315 took place, Islam had agreed to fight Ilia Topuria if Bilal had won. So why not make the fight anyway? Islam had already agreed to fight him, and JDM's not going to be back to like October time anyway. So makes sense. Why didn't I get tickets for Usyk Dubois? Uh, I just moved into my own house and I didn't like Wembley as a venue last time. Trying to get out of Wembley was a disaster last time round. Yeah. It should be Ormond, but I understand why it's not Ormond, to be honest. This is the full card announced. Pfeiffer, Holland, O'Malley winning. I've got United winning the final. Whereabouts are you from, mate? I'm from Northern Ireland. Thank you for the follow. Right, that's going to do me because I need to go and make my dinner. Adios.